Hey, good morning. Yesterday's session, we began the majority of siman Tafresh Beis, the halachas of the Aseres and teshuva. In the Mishnah Brew, we saw interesting insights. We saw an interesting Chachma Shlomo yesterday. Try to dig a little deeper today on what's happening in the siman. Yesterday, we finished all of the Mishnah Brews. There's an interesting Be'er Heitiv, which we learned together in Hilchos Kiddush Levana, siman Tav Chav Vav. Quote over here from the Sefer Or Chadosh says, "Ma'isa be'echad shepagu anasim b'layla v'rotzi laharga." There's a story with an individual and some bullies, troublemakers, ruffians. They met up with him. They saw him at night, v'rotzi laharga, and they wanted to kill him. Ubikesh yanichenu lo la'asos mitzvah achas koydem ma'isa. And they told him, "We will allow you to perform one mitzvah before we murder you." V'lavana haisa b'chidusha. The moon was beautiful. V'kidcha b'kavana gedol. And he performed that last mitzvah of Kiddush Levana. V'nasa lo neis kishadilok shalosh pamim kaminog. In Kiddush Levana, we jump 3 times, right? We step up towards the beginning, right? Kiddush
Maybe repeat
Levana.
that pasuk.
Middle. Unaso haruach v'nitzel mehem. And the wind lifted him up and he was saved. Miraculously, he was saved. The wind from the Kiddush Levana. Kam Shabati Shemishi Kadesh Lavana, someone who performs the mitzvah of Kiddush Lavana, Miyoim Shekitcho Shuv Lo Yiduk Shamos V'Yisa Chodesh Me'asiyim Beilach. You don't need to worry that you're going to die that month. And this obviously requires an explanation because according to this, if you do Kiddush Lavana, you'll be immortal, and we know that's not the case. Rather, what this means is you probably won't die from a weird death. Misa Mishuna, that's how it's explained. Unlikely death, sudden death. This is a mitzvah of Kiddush Lavana. One point that I noticed after reviewing this yesterday, the Ramah says that we do not perform Kiddush Levana until after Yom Kippur, even though Yom Kippur is on the 10th. It's getting close to the 15th. We don't do it. So the Mishnah Berurah says, why? Because it's better when you're Mavussim and Besimcha. You'll be in a happy state. After Yom Kippur, all of our sins are atoned for, forgiven, Mechilas Avoinus. However, if you look closely at the words of the Mishnah Berurah, the Mishnah Berurah himself seems to not rule that way. This word, aval. But you should know that many Achronim say that it's better to perform Kiddush Levana before Yom Kippur in order that this mitzvah will serve as another merit to have. So I think this is one of the places where the custom is not like this Mishnah Berurah. Seems to say that the Gra rules this way also, as we will see. That's just something that I wanted to highlight literally, that the Mishnah Berurah is passing this way, but we don't really do this. Yesterday we didn't finish all of the Ozvahadar Mishnah Berurah comments. So we will try to do so now. See what we missed. So on the Mishnah Berurah in Zion. First I'd like to point something else out actually. It says in the beginning of the Ramah, we fast the day after Rosh Hashanah to Taina Sibor. Look at the Mishnah Berurah, the first one. Okay, all the halachas are explained earlier, sorry. Look at the Shulchan Aruch. All days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we increase the amount of tefillos that we do. We daven more. Levad Meshabbos, except for Shabbos. On Shabbos, we do not increase the amount of tefillos that we do during Aseres teshuva. And we say Avinu Malkeinu at night and in the morning, except for Shabbos. Says the Mishnah Berurah, and except for Erev Shabbos. Okay. Moving along. Avinu Malkeinu is mutually exclusive, has nothing to do with Tachnun. Even if you wouldn't say Tachnun, you still say Avinu Malkeinu. You say every single day, Vidui thrice before dawn, except for Erev Yom Kippur, you only say it once. Some always go like the Rizal, you always do it once. Shembura says because you're going to be saying Vidui 2 times later, Mincha and Ma'ariv. You're going to be saying it on that day another 2 times Vidui, Mincha, Ma'ariv. Another reason is because Erev Yom Kippur is also a Yom Tov. That's the explanation of this Mishnah, bro. Erev Yom Kippur is also a Yom Tov. Mishnah Berurah says, the Ramah says, well, you don't give a chayrim. There's no excommunication over here. Why the Mishnah Berurah says? Not to be ma'oyer the koichos hadin, and not to awaken the strengths of judgment at that time. What does that mean? Lahanish es Israel im yavor adam al to punish someone if they transgress this excommunication. Similarly, you don't make someone make a swear concerned about the punishment, so you can make a false swear. That's the Mishnah Berurah and siman tough reish beis.
The Mishnah Berurah on that Kiddush Labaneth with the jumping.
Right over here. It's in the Bear Hativ and Daled.
It was in the Bear Hativ, not the Mishnah Berurah.
Mishnah Berurah doesn't quote this.
And we didn't see that in.
We saw it in Tav Chavav.
We did see that in Tav Chavav.
Saw that story, yeah.
In the Mishnah Berurah also.
Not in the Mishnah Berurah somewhere. Story is not in the Mishnah Berurah. It's my knowledge. So we have Taf Reish Gimel that we have to do, Taf Reish Aleph, and Taf Reish. Taf Reish Aleph is very short. We'll do it in one day. In Aseres teshuva, teshuva says, someone's concerned that by fasting on Som Gedalia, you won't be able to fast on Yom Kippur. There's an argument, a disagreement among the poskim if you should still fast on Som Gedalia or not. Even if you won't be able to fast on Yom Kippur, you'll be onus, you'll be exempt. Many seem to say that it is better not to fast on Som Gedalia in order that you could fast on Yom Kippur. Sure, we would rule this way if Som Gedalia is pushed off. Chalekes seems to say that you would not fast Som Gedalia. To know yourself, it's a pretty usual case, I would say. Avinu Malkeinu, we say standing up with the Aron Kodesh open. From Avinu Malkeinu HaChazirenu until Avinu Malkeinu etc. The custom is that the Chazan says it, the congregation repeats after him. Some don't have that custom. Where did it come from?
Yeah, it's really
these footnotes and everything, yeah. Touches upon over here what we saw in the Chachma Shlama. The custom is not to have a chasana, no weddings during the Aseres teshuva. Many reasons provided for this. Nevertheless, this is only talking about a person's first marriage. However, if it's zivug sheni, if it's a second marriage, it's permissible according to all opinions. In a pressing situation, it's permissible also for the first marriage. Some didn't accept upon themselves this custom at all.
Why Why do you think the second marriage is different? Just because it's not as sympathetic?
The question is, why is the first marriage? Why do we not do it?
It's too much. I guess we're trying to limit the symptom that says we're achieving.
Limit the simcha? What do we see in the Chachma Shalom yesterday? Hmm?
How do we address that?
Moichlin.
Local,
Law.
local, another stuff if you get married,
Yeah.
right?
The question is, does that apply as much on a second zivuk? But look at
Oh, right,
the
right. So he said you don't want to use that get out of jail free card that Rob was saying too many times. That's why that's maybe that's why there's
right.
a shade you don't get.
Look at the footnote over here, 15. The way that he quotes the Chachma Shlomo yesterday, I said I didn't understand the second reason that the Chachma Shlomo was providing. The way that he quotes it over here is that this month, holiday, Rosh Hashanah, the Chag of Rosh Hashanah, the moon is covered, meaning it's the beginning of the month. Usually our holidays fall out in the middle of the month, but the moon is full. And therefore, we don't see the moon until really after Yom Kippur. And therefore, we don't do a wedding. Still don't understand what the
Yeah.
Chacham is saying, right? And he tries to make it easy. It's funny he doesn't provide the first reason. He says, look at the stay chemed. Nesuin shkichi shechers. People get intoxicating at weddings, which you shouldn't do during a Aseres teshuva. That's very logical. Nowadays, I feel like most people don't, except for the young boys. Right? But it's logical. Chavadas says, the Shalosh Chuvas Chavadas Ravad Yosef. Many people in the Sephardi communities do arrange weddings during this time, especially if the chassan is above the age of 20, which is a interesting age. So it's pretty young. But he says over 20, he's already old.
Gemara says your bones first, right?
Yeah, Kedushin Chavtes. Yeah, you're 18, you go to the chuppah, right? So Lamaisa, there's multiple reasons for not making a wedding during your Aseres Tshuva. Maybe one could argue this only applies for a first marriage. People get more intoxicated there. Maybe there will be more of a machilas avoinos at the first one. I don't know, whatever the reason is.
Is it every time you get married there's Machilo Sabonos, or is this the first one?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe just the first, you could argue. In a pressing situation, you could do it, a wedding, even during a certain tshuva, also for a first marriage. Some didn't accept this upon themselves at all. Okay, that's basically the siman. Any questions, comments on this siman? No? Okay, fair enough.